Okay, so it's been probably about a month and a half since I've Plasti dipped my truck, blacking out all the chrome. I'm actually going to be redoing the mirrors today because of something, really a mistake that I did. The front grille, I do have a couple little small chips. And it's mainly because I didn't do heavy enough coats. I did 3 coats, but they were light. And this stuff is only as durable as thick it is. So my recommendation is to make sure you guys have good heavy coats with this stuff. Probably at least 5 or 6 heavy coats. That'd give you some pretty good durability. Walk around and check out the rest of the Plasti dip. The rims are nice. There's no damage or any kind of peeling or anything that's going on. I've been through the car wash probably 4 or 5 times. All the rims look good. The badges, they're good. Door handles. The rear badges. Yeah, all that's held up really well. Rims, other badges. The only thing is, when you Plasti dip, make sure that you don't get the tape too close because it will bridge, and then when you go to peel it away, it will actually tear the Plasti dip on the edges. That's something I learned. Did my fog. Yeah, all this stuff's holding up pretty good. But I'm actually gonna be redoing the mirrors today. That's the video I'm gonna shoot. So I'm gonna get everything masked off properly and do heavy coats. You can see how thin this is. So if they're going through the car wash, it probably caught this edge, and stuff peels up pretty easy. Once you get it started, it peels straight off. And I'm actually going to be taking all this off and redoing them. So once you get it started, it just peels right off. You can tell it's pretty thin. You can see there's no residue. It comes off nice and easy. Once you get this stuff right, it lasts for like 3 years from the research that I've done. Let's see. Just a few little spots on the edge and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna get this done right this time and see how it holds up in the car wash. Alright, so I got it off both mirrors, but there's still like little residue right here. But it comes off pretty easy. You just gotta rub it. Just little spots. But I'll get this all cleaned up and wiped down with alcohol and then masked off. And we'll re-Plasti dip it. Okay, so I got it masked off. This time I did a little bit more thoroughly. And with Plasti dip, you gotta be really careful about the Plasti dip bridging between your tape and the edge. And if it does, you gotta make sure you cut it with a razor blade, because if you go to peel the tape off, it will rip that edge out. But as long as it don't bridge, that's why I left a gap all the way around. Even on my blinker, I'll get some Plasti dip on the blinker, but that easily peels off. I could take it, spray Plasti dip right across here, let it dry, and peel it off. I mean, so overspray is not that big a deal, but I just covered everything in plastic just so I don't have to clean up as much concerning all of this. This is just cheap painter's plastic tarp from Menards. Comes in a big roll, about 100 foot. So this one's ready to start. I'd already cleaned everything with a diluted alcohol solution, just alcohol and water. All right, so I did the first coat and I made sure that it was very, very light, because this helps it adhere better, because the other heavier coats will stick to this. So I made sure I had thorough coverage. You can see the metal right through it, and that's what I want. I did some research on it, and I didn't do it this way the first time, so this way I'm trying to focus on doing everything right.
Alright, so now I'm ready for my second coat. It's been about 20 minutes. I want to give this plenty of time to set up and dry and everything. So this time I'll go a little bit thicker, but not as thick as the final coats.
Okay, so that completes the second coat. And what I wanted to pay attention to on here is just to really control bridging, and so I'll address that between each of the coats. Any kind of bridging that happens, I'll deal with it before I take the tape off and kind of as I go along. But my main focus was just full coverage, getting everything nice, evenly coated. I plan to do pretty heavy coats from now on, and I'll probably just finish out the cans because this stuff's pretty cheap. It's like $7 at Menards, so it's not that bad. And I want it to be as durable as possible and see if it withstands within the car washes.
Okay, I'm ready for the third coat. I'll give you guys another tip. When you spray with this, make sure your finger don't go over top of there, because if it does, it's going to splatter and create texture droplets. So keep your finger back. That's another lesson that I learned when I first did Plasti dip. So this coat's going to be a lot thicker, so I'm going to really focus on getting it nice wet where it almost is ready to run, but it don't run. So I want it nice and thick. And we're really focused on the edge because that was the issue in the car wash. Only that outer edge right there. And the inside. Alright, so that'd be the third one. See how shiny it is, and you can tell it's a lot thicker.
Alright, I just finished my fourth coat, and I want to show you guys something. The bridging is already starting to happen. You see where it's starting to bridge. I did this coat really heavy, so I'm going to wait till this completely dries, and before I do the fifth coat, I am going to take a razor blade and carefully separate that so that future coats don't build on it and it'll just become more of a difficult situation. That's not bridging at all, so that's good. But it's mainly just this space in between the tape and the mirror. So this coat was very heavy. I laid it down with long sweeping strokes and got it nice and wet. Even though it's shiny now, it'll actually dry to a matte finish, really flat black. And so that it matches the rest of my trim and rims, I got some glossifier that I'll put one coat on that. It also is a UV protectant, so it protects it from fading and everything. But so this is the fourth coat. More to come. All right, so I got 6 coats on it now. Got pretty good coverage. For the glossifier, it says to wait 15 minutes after your last coat. And I guess it's so maybe it ain't fully set, so the glossifier adheres to it better or something. But that's the glossifier. So I'm gonna put a light coat on. And this will also provide some UV protection as well. That's what I like about it. But it gives a nice little shine. That's one coat on the rims. If you put multiple coats, it'll give it like a mirror finish, and I really don't want that. Okay, I do have some bridging going on. I want to show you guys exactly. So when I start to pull this tape back, I want to pull it at 45, but you see how there's that little stretch? So all I do is just take my razor blade and just cut it. It works better with using 2 hands, that way you can pull it out and cut at the same time. But because if you were to pull it out and it stretches, it'll rip that away from that edge, which this edge is more or less on my blinker, so it's not that big a deal. But I'd rather cut it and then peel away that little excess that's on the top of the blinker right there. It'll come off pretty easy. But I don't want it to go up into anything. So that's basically the process on that, then just cleaning up that edge. Same thing with this. There's some little raw edges. I just gotta pick those out. But other than that, looks like it turned out pretty good. And this is real thick coming around here, so there's no edges for anything to catch. Alright, so I got this piece started. It pulls away nice and clean away from there. So that's the key, is just getting a little piece started. And then you can break it away. See? Nice clean edge. One other thing I'm doing, I am fixing this. So I already got 3 coats on this. That little divot's already filled in. And this overspray, that's not no big deal. It just rubs straight off. So this stuff's pretty easy. So that wraps up this job. We'll see how everything lasts. I'll do another video a month or so from now, see how everything held up.